Why is it that nobody talks about these stands? No, really, no one talks about these stands at all, or really in-depthly, mind you. Both of the Requiems are insanely powerful and top tiers in their verse, but they get glossed over. Basically, Chariot Requiem just kind of gets forgotten about. It's like, oh yeah, he had a pretty cool fight, and then he gets put into the forgotten corner. And with GER, everybody knows he's the strongest stand, and because of that, they just gloss him over, saying, yeah, he beats everything, let's put him up against Goku or somebody just to make it interesting. But in this video, I genuinely want to talk about them both and their powers respectively because, you know, they are pretty interesting stands and I really want to go in depth with them. And starting in chronological order, we will start with Chariot Requiem. Chariot Requiem was born when Polnareff accidentally pricked his finger against the Ovalo during the end of part 5. Causing the birth of Chariot Requiem. Now, the differences between Silver Chariot and Chariot Requiem is that they have different approaches to what they do. Chariot Requiem is an automatic stand once it is pricked by the Requiem arrow, and Silver Chariot is a kind of ghost punching like stand, but instead of punching stuff, it uses a sword. Now, mind you, in Polnareff's prime days when he was not a cripple, he was ridiculously powerful. Silver Chariot also has the ability to de-armor itself, as it being a knight, it has armor, and with the armor off, he's able to reach ridiculously powerful high speeds, and because of this weight loss, he's able to rival Star Platinum in speed, meaning that he is pretty formidable without a Requiem power boost. And he also can shoot his lance out of his handle, making a projectile when needed to be. And that is all of Silver Chariot's powers. He doesn't have a lot. Basically, early part 3 stands were very basic in what they did, and with Silver Chariot, he's just a really fast knight with durability. Mind you, yes, he does not have an extremely powerful ability, but what he makes up in that is that he's extremely powerful in just raw damage and speed. But all of that is completely changed once he is pricked by the Requiem arrow. Silver Chariot gains a lot of new abilities in his Requiem state. First off, he becomes an automatic stand, meaning that Polnareff cannot use him anymore. You could see this as a downside, but you can also see it as a plus side, meaning that Polnareff cannot be injured if Chariot Requiem is. But to add upon it being an automatic stand is it's kind of a rogue automatic stand. It basically only has one desire in the anime and manga, and that is to protect the arrow. And because of this set kind of requirement, Polnareff can't really do anything to stop it. It becomes a rogue automatic stand, or if you really want to be in depth with it, it is automatic to the T, basically meaning that it only follows the prime directive and nothing else. And in protecting the arrow, it gains some ridiculously powerful abilities that completely outshine its previous super speed and super durability with its armor. One of them being regeneration. In JoJo, there are not a lot of stands that can self-heal or give healing to others, so it's pretty amazing to see a stand with a self-regeneration ability. And mind you, it's actually pretty damn powerful, basically enabling it to regenerate almost anything. If it gets heavily damaged, it can automatically heal itself. If it loses a limb, all it has to do is grab that limb and force it back onto itself, and that's only if you can get close to it. Chariot Requiem doesn't actually have the ability to fight back in a regular way. It's not a punch ghost or a stand with a sword anymore. How it fights back stand users in this new powerful state is by controlling their stand, basically meaning that any enemy stand user is basically open for an attack. With them not being able to control their own stand, they have no way of defending themselves or attacking Chariot Requiem. Now that's busted. But it also has another ability. Once Chariot Requiem is awakened, it has the ability to make the nearby surrounding people and animals go to sleep. And upon waking up from this short slumber, people have swapped bodies with nearby people and animals, making everything confusing and kind of disorienting for enemy stand users and people just trying to get the arrow. But also what comes with this body swap ability is an ability that didn't get explained too well in the anime or manga, but it's kind of powerful as well. Since Chariot Requiem doesn't have the ability to protect itself all the time unless a stand user comes to get the arrow, it has the ability to make new life. Once you wake up from the soul swap ability, a kind of creature will emerge from your body, and is heavily implied in the anime and manga to protect Chariot Requiem from people trying to get the arrow. So it's basically basically a AoE attack protecting Chariot Requiem from anybody who tries to get near him who is not a stand user. But stand users are affected as well. It's more or less made for non-stand users, but also works against stand users. That's all I'm trying to say. With all of these powers and his bases covered, being enemy stand users and regular people, what can possibly defeat Chariot Requiem? Well, it's kind of an obscure weakness. During the Chariot Requiem fight, Diavolo figures out that everybody sees Chariot Requiem's shadow differently, and because of this, he figures out that there must be some type of light behind him, and using King Crimson, he destroys the light, making Chariot Requiem disappear. With all that power, it basically ended up to being nothing, basically meaning that if you just turned off the light switch behind you, you kill one of the strongest stands in the series. But wait a minute, Polnareff said that somebody has to be worthy to wield the Requiem arrow and its powers. But if I recall, Polnareff was in the group that tried to defeat one of the greatest evils in the JoJo universe, so I don't get it. How does the arrow deem you worthy? Do you have to be a pure-hearted person, or is it the fact that he's a cripple and very old? Possibly, since Polnareff has pricked himself twice with it before, so it could be that he is just not strong enough to wield it due to his age and his cripplement. But what if Polnareff was worthy to wield it? What if he could actually wield Chariot Requiem? If any of you play video games, you know that there is sometimes an NPC option to control your character, and usually the NPC does pretty alright. Sometimes it makes mistakes and sometimes it just overall screws up, but usually when you play, you're a lot more effective than the NPC, and this should go the same with Polnareff. With all of his years of battling stand users and gaining experience over time, and with a combination of Chariot Requiem, Polnareff would probably be like the second strongest stand user in the series. Like, I'm not joking, a Requiem of Silver Chariot Requiem's caliber in control with Polnareff would be ridiculously powerful. Hell, to be totally honest, you could say that Silver Chariot with Polnareff could probably beat GER. Speaking of GER, let's talk about him. But before we do that, let's talk about Gold Experience. Gold Experience has two main abilities: the ability to make life and life shot. The first ability is kind of self-obvious. Giorno's Gold Experience has the ability to make any type of life, and later in the series it is revealed that Giorno can even make body parts of any type of life to sustain its needs. And how he uses this ability is basically he punches an object and it becomes a life form. But when he punches a already living being with this same energy, something unique happens. A person who has been punched by Gold Experience begins to think way faster than their body can act, making it seem like you're moving way faster than you actually are. Overall, Gold Experience is pretty damn powerful. The ability to make life forms that can damage you, the ability to make body parts to heal yourself is pretty damn good, and the ability to make a person's perception speed up without them moving is really good in a fight. Gold Experience is a ridiculously good stand, but what happens when you pierce it with the Requiem arrow? In this new state, Gold Experience Requiem gains two new powers. Mainly one, but you can consider the other one a power as well. Perfect Zero is what I call it and a lot of others call it, but in a layman's terms, it resets everything to 0. Gold Experience Requiem has one of the most busted abilities in all of JoJo, and all in fiction, to be totally honest. This ability to reset anything to perfect 0 basically means no attacks from anybody are going to affect Giorno or Gold Experience Requiem. And a lot of you are probably saying, no, you're over exaggerating it. It probably does have a weakness, we never saw it. But here's the thing, Gold Experience Requiem did this ability on King Crimson, and King Crimson has the ability to make all of time move forward by 10 seconds, giving him the advantage in almost any battle. King Crimson also has the ability to use Epitaph, an ability to see the future and see outcomes. Well, Gold Experience Requiem completely negated the outcome of a future event with this ability, changing all of fate. Not to mention also, he stopped all of time from moving 10 seconds into the future while the ability was still active with King Crimson's time skip, basically meaning that Gold Experience Requiem has a 4th dimensional level feat, With time manipulation not being able to affect Gold Experience Requiem's ability, this basically means that Gold Experience Requiem can basically stop anything. The only thing that can possibly stop Gold Experience Requiem are reality manipulators. And since JoJo only has one of those, maybe two, you're not really gonna stop Gold Experience Requiem. And in the event Gold Experience Requiem kills you, yeah, you're gonna have a really bad damn time. For whatever reason, GER has the ability to make you die infinite deaths. Why Araki gave Gold Experience Requiem this ability, I couldn't tell you why. But it does fit into the theme of resetting things with his other Perfect Zero ability, so I guess it kind of works out pretty well. Except, you know, dying infinite amount of times until the end of the universe. Wait, did Diavolo stop dying infinitely after Pucci reset the universe? Twice? Maybe? I don't know. Possibly? Yeah, probably. But there's something I've always wondered, so put on that speculation cap on one more time in this video because I want to talk about something. We know that Chariot Requiem has roughly 3 unique abilities once Silver Chariot was pierced by the Requiem arrow, but Gold Experience Requiem only has 2. Araki has stated that even Giorno doesn't know the full extent to Gold Experience Requiem's powers, so it could be possible that there is a missing third. If I were to speculate what it was, I'd probably have to say it's probably a rebirth thing. Instead of infinite deaths, you get infinite lives, but you wouldn't get to pick and choose, you'd just be given a random roll. This made up ability does fit in with the whole restart effect that Gold Experience Requiem has, but it's just speculation and just, you know, fan headcanons who do not take that as very literal. It was nice talking about the Requiems. I genuinely really like both of these stands. They're very interesting, and seeing how there's only ever 2 of them in the entire series, I wanted to talk about them a little bit more. I kind of hate the fact that nobody brings up Chariot Requiem, or the fact that Gold Experience Requiem only gets brought up in power scaling debates because he's overpowered. So just talking about their abilities and kind of speculating on them was kind of nice. Plus they're busted and I love OP stands. Or anything honestly OP. That's probably the reason why I watch Dragon Ball. Well, that's the end of the video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Stay hydrated. See you in the next one, ladies and gentlemen.